Jurgen Schmerler. Schmerler.
If you want the volume to go up, just give me a thumbs up or down.
iRobot, all these kind of things. So what is the benefit?
That's
good.
It's
No,
good?
it's good.
Okay. You can take your headset off. And when you take it off, just mic up. Do you need extra pen and paper? You're good.
I'm good. Is that visible in
This is a Facebook camera. If you want me to hold something up, just pass it to me. And then we're rolling internally on.
Does that have the
video.
fisheye on it this time?
No. No, that's Ken's specialty.
You're also present. Young people that accept the challenge is required to transform Mexico. Follow them on social media or go to gop.mx/improve and be a part of history. Make a claim.
Okay, coming in. Go ahead.
Mexicans gonna think they're not always spoken, but they count for a lot. Citizens, improve of a republic.
Welcome back. You're listening to BizTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. And we'd like to take this moment to thank our engineer, Jeff Bilodeau, our music by Derek Audette, our interns, Sarah, Andrew, Leah, Deidre, Chrissy, Dan, and Alex, who is in studio with us today taking our wonderful pictures. You just saw his face in Facebook if you're watching. I'm Montana Smith.
I'm Aaron Canada.
And I'm Bob Ryan. Glad you're with us. Just wrapped up with Rob Patrick at BitMob, founder and CEO there. Up next, VerifiR, Jurgen Schmerler. Schmerler. Got it right. Jurgen Schmerler is the CEO. Are you the founder of the company as well? CEO and founder of the company. VerifiR is the name of it. By the way, before we get into that, where are you from? Where's the accent from?
It's a pure German accent.
Ah!
And I keep it for sentimental reasons.
So obviously, you were from Germany. You came over here from Germany.
I live here for 20 years. You wouldn't tell.
So are you still connected to Germany? Because a lot of interesting stuff's going on there right
There's,
now.
obviously my family is still there, but we have some customers in Germany now too, and in all over Europe. So I'm fortunate to be able to travel quite often.
So you get to go back.
Yes.
So you don't have to miss it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. Tell us about your company, VerifiR.
So VerifiR is a software company that works with consumer brands that lack a direct connection to their customers. So if you think about a knife manufacturer or a perfume manufacturer, as soon as they ship the product, they lose visibility. And now those brand managers are afraid that marketplaces like Amazon will take over the relationship to their customers and dictate what that relationship will be
So
like.
an example, I know there's a watch company that keeps in contact with its customers. You register your watch when you buy it. They track it. Each has a number. That's a really intimate relationship. There's a pen company that does the same thing. But other companies that don't have that, they sell a product, maybe even a high-end product. Somebody buys it, and then they want another one or a piece to go with it. And instead of going back to the original manufacturer where they got it, they go on Amazon. Right,
and if you think about it, once the knife manufacturer is shipping the product into their distribution channels, right now, as you know, traditional retail is failing. I mean, in 2015, we had over 10,000 chain retail stores closing shop in the US alone. So what happens is marketplaces take over that role, and once the brand loses visibility of their distribution, that's the entry point for bad actors to take their place. So you get counterfeiting in that. And counterfeiting is a $2 trillion market, believe it or not.
Do the marketplaces like Amazon do anything to try to curb that, or is that just part of the system?
They're getting around to do more. Alibaba last year took over almost 400 million counterfeit products off their site. So they're trying.
Well, they did 400 billion in revenue, right?
They can afford it, but on other sides, it's not as easy. Like if you talk pharmaceuticals, for instance, there are 800,000 deaths every year because of adulterated products or counterfeit medicines. So VerifiR changes that by enabling brands to keep that visibility by providing that direct channel to their customers.
So once somebody buys something, say a knife or any other product, what VerifiR can do is make sure that not just the actual connection, but the emotional connection stays with the original manufacturer of the product. That's kind of what you're getting at here.
Right. And we developed a system that makes it super easy. If you imagine, we have small, tiny, almost invisible chips. They're the size of a pin.
Oh, that is small.
Head.
Yep.
And we embed those chips, for instance, under the grip of a knife or on a perfume bottle, and then we enable the consumer to just tap their cell phone on the object.
We just dropped Facebook on the table.
And then the cell phone will connect to our servers and to the brand and display the connection to the product. So somebody described it, it's like a Facebook
Seriously,
page for
so
each
you
product.
embed, is this RF? Or is it?
It's called it's type of an RFID technology.
Is
it's
it
called near field communication?
Near field, that you got to be like a couple centimeters near to it.
You almost have to tap the phone.
Is
on
this
the
the
product.
stuff you can buy, the programmable dots that you can put places and tap your phone on?
It's something like
Something
that.
like
yes,
that,
yes.
okay.
So we use that as an entry point to our back-end servers that use analytics software to actually authenticate the product.
How does the phone recognize it? Do you have to have an app open, or does it?
It's sending a
magically
signal
know?
out,
It's
right?
working without an app. Phones, all the new phones, the Apple iPhone and the Androids already for a longer period of time, they're using NFC, near field communication, for mobile payments. So if you go to Starbucks and you want to pay your coffee, you can just tap your phone on their register and it will make a payment. We kind of piggyback off that technology. We use it as an entry point to our analytics servers.
And it's one of the safest tools of software out there because you physically have to have the two units really close together.
Right.
Really hard to hack, really hard to do anything with. So it makes it much safer for the end user and the developer and the... Yeah, I like that idea.
Being a German, we are very aware of surveillance and of privacy rights. In Europe, it's a very big deal for us. And having that extra layer of security that you have to physically touch the product before you can read the chipset, very important to us.
And I hear Germans a little bit fussy about the quality of what they put out too.
Yes, that's why the brands over in Germany have a big incentive to make sure that their brands are not knocked off.
So if you did embed this chip, let's say in the handle of a knife, what would incite the owner of that knife to tap their phone on it and get information? Why would they do that?
Yes, so the consumers have a reason to connect to the brand because they paid good money for it and they want to get the most out of that brand.
So if they want to know how to best sharpen it?
How to sharpen it or to get a free cooking class. So if I buy a knife of a specific brand, that's a high visibility cooking brand, I don't just want to have the knife. I want to be a good cook. And if the brand relationship allows me to go to a Williams-Sonoma, for instance, and take a free cooking class, that's my incentive.
Oh, that's genius.
If you have a bicycle, imagine you just bought a carbon bicycle. We developed a patent how to embed those chipsets into carbon layers. You have an incentive to tap, register the bicycle under your name, so if it gets stolen, you can register it as stolen, and if the thief wants to resell the bike, they are being caught.
So I'm still a little bit. When you make that tap, what happens? Does a web page then come up and you get to register that
Yes.
item?
Yeah. So what happens is you tap your phone on a product. We connect to our web services, and once that appears, we have several things we can do. We have what we call a one-click product
Hang on just a second. Let me let everybody know what you're doing here because he just laid his phone on a knife, I'm assuming that has your chip
Yes.
embedded. And what it did was it took us to a site that has that knife on the cover, and now you can register it, you can get product information, take a cooking class, all right on your screen.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Wow, that's
And-
so cool.
And you can connect to...
Can we
all
put
the-
these on our kids?
Funny you ask. We
Okay.
were approached by a shoe manufacturer for kids' shoes.
Oh,
to put the
I want to
chipset
talk
in.
about that when we get back. VerifiR is in studio with us. I'm Bob Ryan. You're listening to BizTalk. I really messed that up. You're listening to BizTalk. I'm Bob Ryan. Now it's your turn.
I'm Montana Smith.
There we
I'm
go.
Aaron Kanata.
Well-oiled machine here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is like really cool.
That is cool.
Here, let's get a look at that again on Facebook.
That is
I
very
was
cool.
able to,
This one?
So
or?
so you just
No, it's not
put
going to be too
your-
long before kids are embedded with these things. They're already a Wisconsin company. All the employees volunteer to get chipped.
Wow.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
So they put
no.
it in the back of their hand, a little rice. So now they go in the door, they get their coffee, they do the copy machine, everything off the chip. This is the beginning.
Spooky though.
It's the beginning of the 666 Antichrist end of the world stuff,
It
right?
makes me think about that movie
Would you
Total
want your back
Recall,
in?
where he pulls the tracking
The,
device out of his skull,
where
and
it's
it's just
implanted.
straight through his nose. But it won't be that big. I mean, that was
What?
Total Recall. He's got a tracking device in his head, and there's a device he has to stick up his nose to pull it out, and it's like this big, so his nostrils are stretching. But these things are minuscule, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Is this something here?
Yeah, that's for shirts. So this you can wash and dry in,
Oh,
in
cool.
dry, so you can embed them in fabrics and in shirts.
Wow.
So if people are wearing like sports jerseys and they go into the stadium, right? Can there be something that recognizes them and
Oh, yeah.
You have to
Like a
tap.
TSA
Good
pre-pass kind
Yeah,
of
but
thing.
you have to tap
okay?
it on
So
the
you'd have to
shirt.
incentivize, and there would be a reason
Right.
for them to.
I
to
still
tap the
think
jersey.
implanting it in your forehead, going like that.
You can be the first in
We have
line.
one here in a ticket.
Okay,
last
guys, we're
month.
back in.
Oh, you could do it too.
Welcome back. You're listening to BizTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. Get a podcast of today's show and any of our previous shows. Now we're talking. Go to ESPN1700.com. Aaron's laughing at me. He likes it when I say that.
I do.
It's your turn.
Oh, I'm Aaron Canada. I didn't hear you say your name.
You didn't. You just passed the torch
You
on.
know what? You
We,
can-
we
Well-oiled
are
out,
a
well-oiled
well-oiled
back
machine.
You
yes.
take a couple of days off, and the rest of it goes to, we're in a handbasket.
Yep. Jurgen Schmerler is with us. He is the founder and CEO of VerifiR. Again, Jurgen, thanks so much for coming in. You have a really interesting concept here, and the visual. I wish everybody could see it. Our Facebook viewers can see it, but I wish everybody could see what happens to your phone when you tap it on this. You get a whole cool thing from the manufacturer. Here's my guess: if you purchased a cooking knife and you tapped it and found that you could get a free cooking class at Williams-Sonoma or any other place, that would create some brand loyalty, at least for me, forever. I mean, if I go cooking and they're using those knives and I'm using the knife, I will be brand loyal for a long time on that until something supplants it. But there's so many other places to put this. You said somebody even approached you about putting these in children's shoes.
Yes. So there are tons of places, and VerifiR actually is very active in filing for IP, researching ways to embed the chipsets. One of them is embedding it into carbon structures. So we actually figured out how to bake those chipsets into a bicycle frame, for instance.
It doesn't destroy the.
It doesn't. Well, we had to figure it out.
You had to
It's
figure it
not-
out, right?
not,
Okay.
Straightforward.
Did you
but-
make the base of the chip out of carbon?
No, there's actually an insulation layer and,
got it.
and ferrite.
Is this something that
insulation
they
layer.
can pretty easily include into their manufacturing processes? Do they have to have a special machine that you guys build?
Yeah, so that's our goal, to make it as easy as possible. And in most cases, it's literally a few seconds extra work for manufacturers to embed the chipset. So our goal is to make it as smooth as possible for the manufacturer. So there's really not much they have to change in the existing.
So you have a button-shaped chip here that goes into fabric for
into shirts, for
shirts.
instance. Yes, if you think of jerseys in the sports market, right?
Yeah, and Nordstrom's
Or high-end
great
apparel.
brand.
Yeah.
Any high-end apparel.
That brings up
Right.
a good question. What's the price point at which this kind of makes sense? You're not putting it on Bic pens because nobody
Right.
cares if they lose
We
a
are-
20-cent pen.
We are
but-
looking at products that retail for over $200. That makes our sales job very easy because our value proposition is obvious. We can go lower than that. For instance, I was showing a movie ticket here, or a
Yes.
festival ticket that has our chipsets embedded in it.
Where's the chip embedded in
If
this?
you look against the light, and sorry for the radio
That's okay.
people, you cannot see
He's
that.
holding that ticket up to the light, and you can see the chip there, right?
Yes, so there's a small, very thin chip
Right.
embedded in the paper, and there, we tried it out at the movie festival, and people were signing up for memberships to the organizing foundation. It was a positive ROI for them, and consumers or fans of the events, they get engaged with the brand. It's a much more whole experience for them to engage with the brand that way.
I have so many ideas right now. My head is hurting for this, right? I mean, this just seems like it's almost limitless in what you can do.
Right, and that's why, being a young company, we started about 2 years ago with developing the product, really just started selling during this year. We have to stay laser focused, and it spreads, as you can imagine.
I would imagine everybody you talk to brings back 10 ideas to you, and if you get so spread out, you're not going to do any one thing well.
So we right now focus on consumer brands in what we call the sports and active lifestyle market. And as you can see, we're talking kitchen knives, so active lifestyle already is open. But sports is really our core business.
Golf clubs?
Golf clubs, bicycles, surfboards is one of our first customers. We will spread eventually as we are growing, but right now we are pretty focused.
So the fact that now I understand how come somebody can know for a fact it's a legitimate product, it's a legitimate brand rather than a knockoff. The knockoff's not going to have the chip in it.
That's either not having the chip in it, or if they try to fake VerifiR, we have technologies in place that pinpoint that fake, and we get the information to the brand in real time if fakes are popping up in the market.
Don't tell me it calls home, it phones home and lets it know where it's at.
It's actually popping up on the map.
Seriously?
Where the brand can monitor in real time where their products show up and also where the counterfeits show up.
You want to say this would really deter, but people are certainly going to try. No matter how good the technologies get, they still try to get the fakes out, right?
And my background is actually in pharmaceuticals, where we looked at exactly that problem. And that's why we designed the architecture so the product always calls home, and we can react from home. So once the product is out in the market, we are not losing touch. We still are in touch with the product, and we can react to anything the counterfeiters can come up with. So this is the first technology that can almost, we say 99.99%, get rid of counterfeits in the market.
Wow. And in the future, our grandchildren will grow up with everything being like this, so they will know where they laid their knife because it will be tracking it, right? I won't misplace anything anymore.
Yes, it's a very that's the only technology out there right now that can connect that easily.
Seriously.
And our phones, we don't even use an app on our phone. It works right out of the box.
Did you guys invent the technology that makes it easy to do this?
We didn't invent NFC. NFC
right. That's been around a while, right?
We invented the way in the background how to foolproof authenticate a product and how to interact with that product and make it user-friendly for the marketer and for the consumer.
So you've been out you started up a couple of years ago. How long have you had products on the market?
We have it only since this year.
So so this is really kind of brand new.
Brand new technology.
What I know you said you're in the active sports marketplace right now. I'm guessing that the response to this when you show people is pretty cool.
It is very cool, actually, and I'm looking forward. In January we go to the ISPO conference in Munich. And I'm looking forward to showcase our technology there. There's actually a local brand here from San Diego, a skateboard brand that wants to show their products that is outfitted with the chipsets.
Very cool.
And could individuals do this if they have like an incredible art collection and they wanted to? I mean, are you working only with? I guess that's back to people are going to come at you with 100 different ways you could do this.
We had a lot of those requests in the bicycle market where individual bikers asked us, "Can I just put a chipset on my bike?" And theoretically that would be possible, but we cannot assure the quality of that process. So we say
Good
no
point.
right
Good
now.
Point.
We don't know who is coming at us and wants to use our chipsets. So we only right now work with brands that we can make sure that they have the right quality processes in place.
The product that you have, as tiny as it is that, have we reached kind of the point of diminishing returns on how small these are, or do you imagine these will get even smaller someday?
It got pretty small already. I could imagine it gets even.
But we would need some new technology somewhere, right?
Well, right now we are pretty happy what we have. We can put them into sunglass frames already.
Well, that's true.
And that's
true. I'm just looking at something really small. I don't know why I'm asking if it can be smaller. Jurgen Schmerler is with the CEO and founder of VerifiR. You're listening to BISTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
I'm Aaron Canada.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We're going to do picture.
Okay.
When,
Headset again?
yeah, and scooch around next to Bob. When we come back, rather than me doing an
Yes, look
announcement,
adoringly.
I'm going to turn it to you and ask.
To the Beers with Biz Talk? Awesome.
I need to get that out there. Did you get any artwork from them yet?
No,
You know what? Then I'm just going to put it up on the website and text.
No? Skipping that?
What?
The looking adoringly?
Looking adoringly?
Actually, it's kind of funny because a lot of
Yeah.
ladies actually do it.
They do it
Yeah,
during-
so I've got these pictures of me with these beautiful women going,
I'm not a beautiful, so you know.
neither am I, but it's the only time I can get women to look at me adoringly.
Yeah.
Except for Montana does it really.
Yeah, he pays me a buck a
Yes,
day
all
to
the
do
time.
that. Buck a day. I'll look adoringly at you.
Thank you.
Okay. As long as you owe me, I'll never be broke.
I would like to talk about the market size.
Let's do it. When we come back, we'll go right into that. Because we have one segment left.
Yeah, last segment.
So how would this work in pharmaceuticals?
Yeah,
It would go into the blister pack.
Oh, the packaging.
So if you have the blister, it's called blister pack, where each tablet is rolled in rows in a metal kind of plastic covered pack. They call it blister pack.
It is a blister pack.
So you can put it in there or on the inside of.
You're
the
not old enough to
cardboard
have
box.
taken lots of
Cool.
pills.
Guys, we're back
I'm
in.
getting there.
For me, I take 20 a day, so I know all the different things.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Welcome back. You're listening to Biz Talk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio, where we walk the talk. And I'm going to ask Aaron to tell us all about our Beers with Biz Talk event coming up in 2 days.
Oh yeah, this Wednesday, our inaugural Beers with Biz Talk. We're going to be meeting at 4 o'clock at the Green Flash Brewery here in Sereno Valley, and we invite, we implore, we plead everybody who's listening, please come, bring your friends. There's no RSVP or ticket needed. Just show up and be ready to join the conversation. We've got one of our past guests from I think about a month ago,
Yep.
David Broomer from Adaptive Motion Group, to talk about the future of transportation and kind of what
Autonomous driving.
Yeah, and we're right there. I mean, you can go on YouTube and look up. Everybody's talking about it. Autonomous vehicles and driving is on the tip of everybody's tongue.
I don't know why I'm so excited about the Tesla truck coming out, but I am.
Because it looks so damn cool.
It does, but it's going to be driverless and electric, and it's like the world is amazing right now. Jurgen Schmerler, he is the CEO and founder of VerifiR. Thanks for coming in, Jurgen.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The by the way, when you go back to Munich, make sure you brush up on your German before you go, because they speak German there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Again, it sounded so much better in my head. I don't.
It's in Bavaria, so
Yeah,
so
okay, there we
there's
go.
Still a rollout.
That's a good point. You've got this product that you're launched, and I'm guessing that you've done some research. You started off on the active market, active sports, active lifestyle marketplace. Where do you go from there, and what's the limit on your marketplace?
Yeah, so right now we focus on the products that are easy to counterfeit and products that really have the need are really hurting right now. And if you look at the sports and active lifestyle market, we are talking about a market size of $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion on just the sports
Just
market?
the sports and active lifestyle. And if you go beyond that, if you look at pharmaceuticals and automotive and all the other consumer products you have out there, our calculation shows it's a market size for us, an addressable market of $23 billion.
And all you want is 10%, 20%?
And
Or all of it? Are you going for all of it?
Pretty tremendous.
All we want is everything.
All of it, right?
I'm quoting that.
If you think about it, we established a totally new direct communication channel between the brands and the consumers. That's absolutely new, and it's absolutely exciting for brands. And we want to be the lead platform in that market. And with the IP we developed and our technological advantage we have, we can harvest a lot of that addressable market.
I'm just thinking about all the really cool things you could do. You mentioned pharmaceuticals. Obviously, you can't put it in a pill, but you mentioned on the break you can put it in the blister pack.
Yes, you could put it in the blister pack or in the other types of packaging. Pharmaceuticals is a huge market.
So
$72 billion of fake goods every year.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Even the over-the-counter stuff, not just the prescription? Or
Yes, over the counter. I mean, the US has a pretty good handle on fake medicines, but even here, just a few months ago, an oncologist was taken into custody because he was giving out fake cancer medication.
No.
And that's in the U.S.
Okay, that's not nice.
And it's all over the world. And, you know, obviously, if you go outside the U.S. and in Mexico and in third world countries, you have a lot of fake medicines where there are no protections.
And I'm thinking pharmacies, pharmaceuticals have got to be an ideal product for this, because you tap it. Now you can get all the information on your medicine, everything that you want to know. And maybe if you're getting a cold medicine, it'll give you a coupon for a free box of Kleenex.
Well, if you think further on that one of the biggest problems in pharmas is that patients do not comply with their doctor's orders and don't take all the medication they're prescribed. So with an app like that, a connection like that, you can actually trigger the patients to take their medicines regularly. And pharma can fix that problem. That's 40% more sales for pharma without writing one more prescription.
You mentioned earlier when you were describing the marketplace that you were starting with companies that are heavily counterfeited and hurting. What do you mean by hurting? Are they suffering in sales because of the counterfeiting, or are they hurting for other reasons and counterfeiting just adds to it?
Well, obviously they are suffering in sales because a certain percentage of people who buy the counterfeit would have preferred to buy the original. Especially counterfeiting gets now smart. They are charging 80% of the official retail.
You
so
can't
people
get the
don't
Coach
know.
purse on the streets of New York for $5 anymore.
But people are actually buying it online, and it's called direct from factory. Or people think they get the real deal, but they actually don't get the real deal. So that's a percentage of sales that gets hurting. What's more nefarious or more invisible to the brands is the damage to the brand itself. If you see a Louis Vuitton handbag in the street, you have immediately that image of Canal Street in New York in your mind, where those things go for $5 or $20.
And with purses, nobody wants to be cheated. Nobody wants to walk around with a fake. But with pharmaceuticals, there's the possibility that you're getting a bad drug, and so what you're taking, it could be very dangerous. Do you think there's any appetite from the FDA to talk to companies to make this? It sounds like you could actually be saving lives.
Yeah, so we are talking to Washington organizations. Last week I went to a symposium of the Intellectual Property Rights Center, which coordinates Homeland Security, Customs, and so on, to give their agents a pathway to identify fake products as they arrive in the ports, as they arrive shipments. And VerifiR obviously would be a very nice technology for them, for an agent in the port of entry to just whip out a phone and check whether it's original or not. So those kind of we do those kind of outreach to government agencies, and we hope as we grow in market visibility that we get much more support.
Do you have to load something into the phone, or does the near
field communication
NFC does that work automatically without an app on your phone? Does your phone smart enough to recognize that and interpret it?
Since about a little over a month, since September, Apple joined the club to support NFC for
So they
users.
were the holdout, and the reason that
Yep.
I wondered, because I'm not an Apple person, so I wondered why this technology hasn't just blown up, and it's because Apple's been holding it.
The technology is in the market since about 2013. Have it embedded already since 2014.
Just for kicks, I bought a pack of those little sticky things and put them around the house so I could tap my phone in different
One
rooms.
on the cat.
So you can use it for a long time already.
I've used it for a while. And I go into a room and I can turn the lights on by tapping and all that kind of stuff. It didn't do any real good. It was just fun.
And we were really happy when Apple joined the club. And
I can see that.
We can build it. We built it super easy, so you do not need to install a VerifiR app for it to work. And it's a very smooth process.
I know you're looking at the low-hanging fruit and trying to stay focused, but when you think about this, what excites you? What do you think could be an out-there application that would be really great?
Well, I'm coming from pharmaceuticals, so I'm firsthand. I've seen the problems and the problems that the impact it makes into people's lives when they get counterfeit medicines. And my goal is really to save those 800,000 people every year.
Seriously?
That is
okay.
Something
When you wake
my
up,
goal is.
when you wake up in the morning and you go to work, there's not many missions in life that are cooler than saving 800,000 lives. That's got to be a fun thing. That's got to be a real driver too.
It is a driver, and it's a fun pathway to get to that goal, because we right now we start with sports and active lifestyle, because the people who use those products, are very mobile literate, and they can really be our ambassadors, and they can create our awareness in the market and make people aware of VerifiR, so that when we get ready for the pharmaceuticals,
Which is almost the older generation will be the bulk of the users with pharmaceuticals.
yes, and try to teach doctors and patients to do something new. It's very hard.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
for
do
sure.
that. But you
That's
can
for
see
sure.
that a lot if you go on VerifiR, VerifiR.com.
VerifiR.
Examples.
Thank you so much. Jurgen Schmerler, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you about VerifiR, VerifiR.
IFIR.com. Thanks,
.com.
Bob, Montana, and Aaron for having us here.
You've been listening to BizTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
And I'm Aaron Kanata.
Go have a great and prosperous day, folks. Bye-bye.
And there you have it.
It is overwhelming to think about all the applications. Your mind just races.
Yeah, I had like
I always
20
wondered if we had our
It does.
our
Mine
guests,
was going
like
too.
combine products together.
Yeah.
Because every time that somebody could go out with a connection on this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that because you guys are way smarter than me.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, right? NFC.
It's the NFC makes
Say bye to Facebook Live.
nice
I
and
was
fast.
Bye-bye,
for about
Facebook
6
Live.
years,
Hey,
so I
guys,
had
say
nothing
goodbye to
to do
Facebook
with-
Live.
Bye,
Bye.
Facebook Live.
Tune in tomorrow.
Bye. I had